We're gonna start off with some squats. So I'm gonna have you stand in the center of your band, and you want to choke up on your band to an amount of pressure or tension that's gonna be good for you. The more you choke up on it, the more resistance is going to provide your hips as we do the squat. So with your legs about hip width apart, you're gonna bend your knees, you're gonna keep your chest proud, and then you're gonna straighten your legs and squeeze your tush to the top. Let's inhale as we bend, exhale as we stand tall. So let's inhale through the nose, exhale out through the mouth like you're blowing air out of a straw. Feel the weight more in your heels as you bend. And make sure your knees aren't going well past your toes, and that your knees are in line with your first and second toes. Let's do this 4 more times. Really strengthening the glutes and your quads. One more time. Beautiful. Feeling the heat. Feeling the heat in the body. All right, so lower yourself down to your mat with control. And now let's do a back row, high row. So, some high rows for your upper back. So you're gonna put the band, your feet in the center of the band with your legs about hip width apart. And you're going to cross your band, knees are bent, sitting tall on top of your sits bones, shoulders down, and the elbows are slightly lifted out and the shoulders draw down the back. You'll take a deep breath here, and as you exhale, you're gonna bend your elbows and pull your elbows back towards the wall behind you. My arms are bent at a 90-degree angle, and I'm feeling my rhomboids, the muscles between your shoulder blades, fire up and engage. And then I'll reach the arms forward. Here's my inhale, and exhale, pull back. So not only are you strengthening your upper back, you're also strengthening your back extensors as well as your hips, right? Because I'm pushing my band outward, and as I pull on the band, it's challenging my ability to keep my legs apart. So I'm really getting a total body workout here. Let's do this 4 more times. Make sure your shoulders are pulling back and down and not towards your ears. Last time. Good, and then lengthen your arms. And now we're gonna uncross the band, and I'm gonna change my grip. So now my grip is going to be more like this, okay? And we're gonna do a seated roll down with a bicep curl. So my arms are reaching forward to start. I'm gonna take a deep breath in, and as I exhale, I'm gonna curl my tailbone under, I'm gonna pull my abdominals around my lower back, and I'm going to go back and just into my waistline is almost on the mat. And then my palms are gonna face each other, and I'm gonna bend the elbows and then lengthen, like doing a hammer curl. And here I'm strengthening my biceps, but I'm also strengthening my core muscles because I'm sitting behind the sits bones. Make sure the shoulders are still drawing down the back. Let's do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, almost there you guys. 2, and 1. Arms reach forward, and then round the spine forward, and then stack your spine on top of your hips. Good. Okay, so now let's take the band. I'm gonna face you for this one. We're gonna do seated offering. And offering is a exercise that we do on the reformer in Pilates. But we're gonna do it seated right now. So I'm gonna take the band and place it on my upper back, just below my shoulder blades. And then I'm going to choke up on my exercise band. So I wanna make sure that I have some resistance. So I sit nice and tall. I take a deep breath, and then I exhale, reach the arms out and forward. My palms are facing each other, my arms are shoulder height, shoulder width. Inhale, bend the elbows, shoulders pull back and down. Exhale as I reach my arms forward. And again. Good, so this is a great exercise for your pectoral muscles, as well as your triceps and your deltoids. Make sure that when you bend your elbows, your shoulders don't creep up towards your ears. Let's do 4 more. Two more. 1 last time. Good, and bend your elbows and relax. Okay, so now we're gonna go onto our knees, and if your knees are cranky, you can always do this exercise standing up too, okay? I'm gonna lay my band out, place my knees in the center of the band, and then I'm going to come up on my knees. I'm gonna hold on to my band, again, choking up on the band so I have an amount of resistance that's good for me. We're gonna do a shoulder press with a side bend. So I'm gonna lift one arm up towards the sky, and I'm gonna side bend up and over, stretching out the obliques and the spinal muscles while I'm strengthening my shoulders, and then I bend the elbow and I draw it down. Inhale, reach the arm up. Exhale, up and over. Inhale, lift up tall. Exhale, lower the arm down. Again. I like to think about imagine that I'm kneeling in between 2 panes of glass, one in front of me, one behind me, and I'm trying not to touch the glass as I do this movement. So we want to make sure that you don't allow the torso, the spine to go into rotation. You want to really work in this range of motion of lateral flexion of the spine. And as you side bend to one side, think about that knee that you're bending away from still pressing down into the floor. Let's do one more set. And relax. All right, so now let's do a little doggy kick. So doggy kick is a great exercise to strengthen the upper body because we're going to be on all fours. So it's a front support position. And then also it's a great one to strengthen the hips and the back. So I'm going to place the band over the ball of my right foot, make sure it's secure. Then I take the ends of the band in my right hand and I come onto all fours with my knees underneath my hips. Knees are hip width apart and my hands underneath the shoulders. And I find that neutral spine. Tailbone reaches long and the crown of the head reaches long too. I draw my navel up. I take a deep breath and exhale. I reach that right leg back. And I want the leg to be parallel to the floor. Toes pointing down, flexed foot, and then with control, you bring the knee back down to that starting position. Let's take a deep breath. Exhale, reach that leg long, pull your abdominals in more, draw your shoulder blades down your back, and then slowly return. Let's do this 3 more times. Good, really feel the hamstring and the glute and those spinal muscles really firing up on the back side of the body, your posterior chain. One more time. and slowly return. Good. Let's do the same thing on the other side. All right. Good, and since we're doing like unilateral work, like one side of the body at a time, notice how the abdominals have to engage in order to stabilize the torso. And also notice if one side feels weaker than the other, especially as far as the hips and the hamstrings are concerned. Okay? Take a deep breath. Exhale, reach back. And slowly return. And again. Okay, let's do this twice more on this side. One more time. And relax. Let's move on to our Qigong portion. Let's start off by doing spinal cord breathing, a little spinal enlivening exercise. So legs about hip width apart, soften your knees, lengthen your spine. Let's lift the arms up. Draw the elbows back, open your chest, and lift your gaze slightly. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, draw the arms forward, curl your tailbone around your spine and look towards your belly. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Inhale, draw the elbows back, open your chest. Try not to take your head too far back. And then exhale, round your spine. So we're moving the spine through flexion and extension. Moving the spine through all of its different ranges of motion. And when we do this on a regular basis, it helps us have a healthier spine. Make sure you keep your knees soft the whole time and your shoulders right over your hips. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Feel the back stretching. And now the front stretches as well. Let's do this 3 more times. One last time. And relax your arms down and stand tall. Okay, so now let's move the spine in another range of motion, which is lateral flexion. So we'll do a little dog wags its tail. So we're just going to shift our weight side to side, moving the hips, moving the spine and the shoulders, and allowing the head to gently move to the opposite side of your spine and torso. So we're opening up the joints of the spine, like the lateral portions of your spine. And this is an exercise that some people feel good going really slow. Some people feel really good going a little faster. So just finding a tempo that works for you. And much like what I mentioned in the first portion of the class, as we move in lateral flexion, just imagine that you have a pane of glass in front of you and behind you, and you're trying not to touch the glass as you shift. So you don't want to go into rotation of your spine. Just lateral flexion. Take a deep breath. And then exhale as you slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, until you come to a point of stillness. And now I invite you to just pause in the stillness And just notice what you feel. I feel a lightness in my spine, as well as my head. My head resting on top of my spine feels as though it's floating to the sky. Now let's open the legs and feet a little wider. Continue to work in this range of motion of lateral flexion, and let's do moving like a river. So we're just going to side bend to one side, side bend to the other side. Right? Good. So I'm going to side bend to one side, and then I'm going to bend the opposite knee, and then I'm going to shift. Good. And I'm going to bend the opposite knee and shift. Right? So this is the exercise in a more upright position. But now I'm going to invite you to tilt the spine forward so that my spine is parallel to the floor, or almost parallel. So I shift the weight, and then I move through the spine, and my head is the last thing to shift. Shift the weight, move through the spine, the head is the last thing to shift. Inhale to one side. Exhale to the other side. Moving the body like a river, embodying the quality of water. And water represents relaxation, ease, flow, and power. Take your time. Good. Now let's begin to slow the movement down. Slow it down, make it smaller and smaller and smaller. And now bend forward. Let's do a nice forward stretch, stretching out the back of the body, stretching out the yang meridians of the legs and the back. Relax your head, neck, and shoulders. Take a deep breath here, and then exhale out. Soften your knees and slowly roll up through your spine. Holding on to one wrist with the opposite hand, lift the arms above the head. Reach up and back, stretching the front of your body. And then open the arms out and down. Good. Bring your legs a little closer together. Shake out your legs. All right, let's do a little chi massage to activate the chi in the body. So let's make soft fists and tap up and down your sternum. Stimulating the heart. Good. Stretch one arm out to the side. Hand goes to the corner of the chest. And let's tap down the inside of the arm all the way to your wrist. And then up the back of the arm, all the way up to the shoulder and towards the neck. And then again going down and coming up. Good. Tapping on the chest again. Going to the other side, going down the inside of the arm. And then up the back of the arm. And again, going down. And tapping up. Good. One last time. Tapping on the chest again. And then begin to slow it down. Slow it down, slow it down. Good, and then place your hands just over your navel and just pause for a moment. You can even close your eyes if you'd like. And just notice what you feel. And now let's tap on the low back with soft fists, tapping down towards the tail, and then up towards the low back, stimulating the kidneys. And then now with the palms of the hands, slapping the low back. And then going down the back of the legs and a little bit of the sides along those yang meridians. And then tapping up the inside of the front of the legs. And again, going down the yang meridians and up the yin meridians. One more time. And coming up. Good. And relax the arms down. And just close your eyes for a moment. And just notice what you feel.